right, we're at the Row, New York City, which is the Migrant Hotel, which was the NYPD said it once a very nice place. It's being trashed by the migrants. They're throwing away the food. They're saying it's not good enough. They're demanding not to leave the hotels. A near riot almost happened at one of the hotels here. You can see that in the news. The scooters, they're saying up to half of them, in their opinion, are stolen property. This is an absolute it's a disaster.
They're only coming here because you're promising them free shit. Of course they're gonna come to New York City when they know they're getting everything. Shelter, food, money, free jobs that are not being taxed. Anything that they want, they're gonna get here, knowing that New York City is gonna foot the bill, the taxpayers are gonna foot the bill, and that's it. So why the fuck wouldn't they come to New York City? It's because of you, and you're like, don't come, but if you do, I'll give you free shit.
Okay, so winter has come to New York City, and these migrants, these people from Venezuela and other parts of the world, they're realizing just how harsh these New York City winters can be, because these people from these tropical climates are freezing to death up there. These people are going through hell. It's snowing, it's cold, it's wet, sometimes it's raining, and it's very windy. These people out here freezing. And on top of that, a lot of these people, they're giving money from the government. They're giving all types of free stuff, but they're living it on the internet. They're spending the money as soon as they can get it. So you have a bunch of people in these crowded areas in places that they're not familiar with. It's cold. A lot of frustration is starting to boil over. They're fighting for space. They're constantly under stress because single people are given 30 days before they have to move out of their hotel or shelter and then reapply to be resheltered in another room or location. But you have a lot of frustration going on, and we have a lot of unvetted people from Venezuela, a lot of unvetted people from Central America, from Mexico, from Africa, from East Asia, because they're coming from everywhere. And tensions are boiling over. Like I said, we got people out here committing crimes. We have them turning into gangs. We have them selling drugs. The females out there selling boxes. They're being pimped. It's turned to a full-blown red light district over there. So they're competing for the little space that they have, the little that they have. So if they're over there trying to sell some rocks or some box or something like that, they have to compete with the other migrants who are trying to do the same thing. So it's causing tensions. And these tensions boiled over to extreme violence a couple of days ago, because in one of these shelters, in the cafeteria in one of these shelters, a guy got deleted. Let's take a look at this clip here.
Tonight for migrants after a man was stabbed to death at the migrant shelter on Randall's Island, and 2 other migrants were arrested in a separate incident. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini has more.
A police presence outside the migrant shelter on Randall's Island isn't helping some feel safer after a fatal stabbing. When I returned, the first thing I heard, the comments they were saying, was a murder, says this asylum seeker from Venezuela who has been staying here for about a month. ¿Tú tienes miedo? Todos los días. I asked if she's afraid. She responded, every day, because here it's not safe. The NYPD responded to a 911 call just after 7:30 Saturday evening. Police say a man in his 20s was stabbed in the chest. He was taken to a hospital where he died. A male suspect is in police custody. Investigators say it started with a dispute inside the cafeteria at the shelter. According to officials, over 68,300 asylum seekers are in New York City shelters. The numbers evidence of New York City's ongoing migrant crisis. Shelters have been operating at capacity. So much so, city-imposed limits remain on shelter stays. 30 days for singles and 60 days for families. The former St. Bridget's School on the Lower East Side now functions as a shelter reentry facility. This is where migrants go to be assigned to a new shelter once their stay is up. Police were called after an altercation this weekend. It all started, according to witnesses, with someone cutting the line. They don't respect the line. They don't want to wait in the line, so that's why the problem, he said. The NYPD says it led to 2 officers sustaining minor injuries and 2 migrants getting arrested. They are now facing a string of charges, including resisting arrest. Mayor Adams recently commented about migrants committing crimes in the city.
You place a person in an environment where they can't work, can't provide for themselves. They have to just sit around all day. That's not a good scenario.
The overwhelming majority of migrants in our care came to our city in search of a better life and the American dream. The small number of those disrupting that journey for the rest of the migrants in our care by acting violently will face enforcement to the fullest extent of the law. According to officials, more than 160,000 migrants have come to New York City since last spring. As the surge continues with no end in sight, the question is, will these incidents be on the rise? Reporting.
So some people are speculating, well, it could have been that they were fighting over space and they're just frustrated because they didn't know where they were going to stay. But hey, it could have been gang violence, because some of the witnesses are saying, well, they were just over there arguing, sitting down at a cafeteria table. One guy walked off, he came back with a knife and just dove at the guy. And next thing you know, the guy tries to run. He gets cornered by the guy plus a couple of other guys, and they're all armed with knives, and they just delete him right there. Then you got these guys over here getting into an altercation about the fight because a guy jumped the line. So these guys are out here waiting to sign up for some shelter, and like I said, it's New York City winter. Guys just breaking line. Next thing you know, they about to fight, and security have to break it up. These type of tensions are going to continue to board over. And like I said, this deletion of this guy, it could have been just some guys frustrated getting into some random argument. It could have been some type of territorial dispute, some type of gang dispute. We don't know what the hell is going on here because we're still in the dark on a lot of this. But these people in New York City, they should have expected this. They're trying to say, well, it's just a handful. Of course, all crimes in the United States or across the world really are committed by just a handful of a population, just a small fraction of the group. But you got these guys out here, you're giving them all types of resources, you're putting them out there in situations to incentivize crime. And the guy who was the ringleader of deleting that guy, he said, well, I have confidence in the American justice system that I'm going to get away with this. What? It's insane, man. So he's confident. He's so confident in the incompetence of Eric Adams in New York City that he believes that they can get away with deleting a guy. But this is the new New York. This is New York City ran to the ground by Democrats. This is the greatest city in America, used to be the greatest city in America, ran into the ground by Democrat leadership, being overrun by illegal immigrants, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, billions of dollars in debt on our backs of the taxpayers. These illegal immigrants are getting all types of stuff, all types of free crap, being incentivized to continue to come up. And then you got them working under the table, and they're reducing the wages because they're providing more labor competition. They're reducing the wages that regular ordinary citizens can get. And on top of that, they're causing a shortage in hotel rooms. They're causing a shortage in houses. So a hotel room, generally speaking, for people who are going to be tourists or whatever going to New York, the hotel rooms are going to be way more expensive than they would normally be. Apartments are going to be way more expensive than they would normally be because you have well over 100,000 of these illegal immigrants in New York City taking up a lot of space. Then you have these people taking up resources. They're reducing the police force in New York City, but at the same time, they're bringing in all types of unvetted people from South America, from Central America. Word is that Venezuela is emptying prisons. The leftists are trying to debunk it, but they're saying a lot of Venezuelan prisoners are being shipped over to the United States because Venezuela is like, look, we don't have to deal with that. We can just reduce our costs by letting these people go to America because these idiots, these Democrats, are just going to welcome them, give them money, and just let them go. So this is something that I'm sure Eric Adams didn't want to sweep under the rug, but unfortunately it's out. Everybody knows about it. And unfortunately also, things like this will continue to happen because you got all of these people in these horrific situations packed into these small areas. But let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts down below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.